In the past, the political opposition in Kenya has been at the forefront in calling out corruption in government. However, in light of two mega-graft scandals in quick succession, that seems to have changed, and with it, the main opposition. It appears to be a time of restructuring for the National Super Alliance, NASA. On House of Cards tonight, KTN News political affairs editor Ben Kitili sought to find out what the future holds for the four NASA principals.
A lost election, followed by National Super Alliance leader Raila Odinga's deal with President Uhuru Kenyatta. These pundits say have been the main catalysts of NASA's gradual but seemingly inevitable collapse.
Question is, whose bridges are being built? Are they political bridges that will aid Raila Odinga?
Even though some NASA legislators remain optimistic of NASA's current state of affairs.
We are all in committees. We are all holding positions on the basis that we are NASA members, not ANC or Wiper or Ford Kenya.
Many NASA supporters have been left disillusioned over the state of the coalition and the future of the four principals. And the relationship between Odinga and his running mate of the last two presidential elections, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, has been a major concern. NASA went into the 2017 polls with a publicly documented memorandum of understanding. The presidential candidate, Odinga, would serve for one term, then back Musyoka in 2022.
We end up in the same quagmire we had in 2013, to the extent, therefore, that this agreement is valid provided we win. If we don't win, the agreement doesn't make sense.
NASA's move to boycott last year's repeat presidential election complicated things for Wiper and Musyoka even further.
And I must tell you honestly that I saw this during the withdrawal of the presidential election. And I voiced it and I said, this is going to be the creation of default.
It is not clear whether the ODM leader is still committed to the MOU or NASA.
2022 is open to any Kenyan who wants to run and solicit support from Kenyans. So this country cannot stop to deal with the problems of the day, which have been aptly identified in the memorandum that our party leader signed with the party leader of Jubilee, and hinge it on the ambitions of William Ruto.
The other two NASA co-principals, Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula and his ANC counterpart Musalia Mudavadi, have also effectively severed ties with Odinga. Wetangula has blamed Odinga as the architect of his ouster from his leader of minority position in the Senate.
When Raila Odinga then gives Malala the deputy position in the Senate, the message is very clear that I'm ready and willing to work with alternative leaders in Western Province.
There have been plans to merge the two political parties together in a bid to form a more solid outfit for the Western Kenya region.
Three major political groupings in the Luya, that is ODM, ANC, and Ford Kenya, were all included in NASA. So you cannot leave NASA and go and say you want another unit of two parties.
While Ford Kenya and the ANC are considered the default Western Kenya political parties, Odinga's ODM is formidable enough to give them a run for their money.
And in comes the other gentleman who has been at war with Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Honorable Godfrey Osotsi. So it is clear that apart from causing ripples in the Jubilee House, Amodo Odinga is also causing ripples in the backyard of his former principals.
That I have no issues or personal issues with the Honorable Mudavadi, who is my party leader. Our differences is based on ideology.
The greatest loser from a Mudavadi-Wetangula exit, it would seem, is not Raila Odinga, but Kalonzo Musyoka would find it quite difficult to negotiate about 2022 without the other two.
If Kalonzo is not going to be supported by any of his friends who are in NASA. They do so early, so that then Kalonzo prepares himself either to contest on his own, or, like I have said, is at liberty to join forces with other political outfits. That decision must be made early. This cannot be done in 2020.
Either way, the future is blurry for all the four NASA principals. The tricky permutations, meaning they have to keep their cards quite close to their chests. First, there was the Pentagon in ODM, then came the pre-election alliances, CORD, and lastly NASA. Some political scientists think that this is not the ultimate winning formula and that it has failed 3 times. Another school of thought, however, insists that Kenyans are likely to see yet another Pentagon in some shape or form. Ben Kitili, KTN News.